Many monuments between Uzbekistan and Morocco appear luminous and radiant blue. Like a cloak, ceramic cladding often envelops the brown brickwork. Various techniques have been employed since the 11th century. Particularly vibrant are ceramic mosaics, such as those found in Isfahan, which highlight important architectural elements like minarets and facades. The Shah Mosque in Isfahan, with its magnificent dome, is an impressive example. But how are mosaics made at such heights? The restoration of the dome in recent decades allows us to understand the construction process. Let's start small. To create them, ceramic masters draw patterns on paper and affix corresponding paper templates of flower shapes and fillings to monochromatic glazed tiles. With skillful strokes, the many individual pieces of the mosaic are created. Assembled on the ground, not like here, but with the front side facing down. The back is coated with plaster, creating a solid unit. As in the small, so in the large. The design of the dome can be divided into 16 sections, each of which can be moved and renewed individually. Each section is 24 meters long. The design is painted into a negative mold, and paper templates are created from there. With the front side facing down, the finished tiles are placed in the mold according to the template and connected with plaster to create approximately 1 square meter large panels. These panels can now be easily applied to the dome and masoned. In the final step, the paper templates are washed off and the mosaic is complete. Why all this effort? Glaze colors have different firing temperatures depending on the pigment to develop their colorfulness. While there are methods to apply different colors, they do not achieve the same brilliance. Ceramic mosaics are a colorful spectacle. In Islamic architecture, there are two traditions of ceramic mosaics that, although emerging almost simultaneously, are quite different. In the East, the technique presented here developed from the 11th century onwards, initially inserting individual glazed bricks into the masonry. In the West, ceramic mosaic likely has ancient prototypes, but quickly develops a technique similar to that in the East. They are called Staatliche and differ in colors and design from the Eastern mosaics. Staatliche spreads from Morocco to Tunisia and Spain. Many are familiar with fantastic examples from the Alhambra in Granada from the 14th century. They primarily serve as cladding for the lower wall area. Mosaics are labor-intensive and therefore expensive. In the 15th century, they are replaced by cheaper techniques, except in Morocco, where Staatliche is still produced today. How the various traditions in the East and West inspire each other has not been sufficiently explored. Often, techniques migrate with craftsmen, voluntarily or involuntarily. War is a cause of migration of people and knowledge. A prominent example of this leads to the innovation of ceramic mosaic in the East. In the 13th century, Mongol riders destroy large parts of Iran, and for several decades, ceramic mosaic production comes to a halt here. Even the ceramic master, Muhammad ibn Mahmud from Tus, has to flee and arrives in the city of Konya, then the bustling capital of the Turkish Seljuks. Master Tusi there, for the first time ever, completely clads a building in mosaic. Most mosaics have fallen off, but this innovation sets the standard for the time. The artist confidently leaves his signature. Muhammad from the 3,000-kilometer distant Tus is influential in style. The integration of Persian techniques, their adaptation, and their development in Konya are results of migration. Only in the 14th century do buildings with complete mosaic surfaces emerge in Iran and Central Asia. The ceramic architecture of Samarkand is famous for this. Around 1400, the notorious Mongol ruler Timur builds his new capital. Timur forces the best craftsmen from the conquered areas into his service. At the portal of his tomb, the architect has immortalized himself with an artistic inscription, Muhammad ibn Mahmud from Isfahan. Here, a technology transfer likely occurred through forced migration. From the early 15th century, the decorative program, emphasizing portals and courtyard facades, is well developed. The school of the scholar Sultan Ulugh Beg provides wonderful examples with vibrant colors. However, as in Morocco or Spain, a more cost-effective technique emerges during this time, partially replacing the mosaic. To clad larger surfaces, motifs are applied to a tile or tile composite with a separating agent, and the fields are filled with colored glazes. This technique is aptly called haftarangi, 7 colors. The colors may not develop as intensely as the mosaics, but the result is impressive, as seen in the Shah Abbas Mosque. So, let's return to Isfahan in the 17th century. Here, all visible surfaces are now clad with hundreds of thousands of tiles in the new technique. Since this construction, buildings in Iran and beyond are often enveloped in a widespread sea of colors from tile panels. However, ceramic mosaic remains reserved for special areas. To this day, one can observe mosaic masters at work in Isfahan or Fez.